So in this video we're going to look at swapping out the fuel filter. Relatively straightforward. And 10mm nut here just to undo the fuel lines in and the fuel line out, and then just the connection on the bottom. Obviously just got the one retaining clip around the middle, so let's crack on. So for disconnecting these fuel lines, they're quite straightforward. I'm going to start with the outlet first. They've got these kind of buttons on the side that you just need to pinch in, and then you should be able to pull it up. There we go, nice and easy. So I'm just going to put a rag over the end of that just to stop any fuel leaks. So for fuel inlet, I'm guessing it's pretty much the same. We've got this kind of white tab on this one. I'm guessing we can just push that and then it should come away. Yep, nice and simple, there we go. So I've got a tip cloth again. I'm just going to wrap that around the end of it, stop those drips going anywhere. We'll just set them to a side. Okay, so with those two connections off, we'll move on to this retaining clip. Just got a 10mm nut on there, like I say. So just loosen that off. There we go. Okay, so with that removed, hopefully we should be able to remove the retaining clip. Okay, so it looks like the actual bracket is being blocked by the MAF sensor connection, so I'm just going to unplug the MAF sensor. Just set that aside, and as I did that, the retaining clip come off a lot easier, to the point where it actually fell off. I'll just pull that back out of there. There we go. So before I get too far in this video, if you're liking it and other videos that I've done, maybe you'll consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. It really means a lot to me when you guys subscribe. So now with the retainers removed, we should be able to bring this up out of the way. We've just got our connection on the bottom. We need to disconnect on our plug. In actual fact, this is screw, so I'm just unscrewing it now. Don't know if I'm going to get covered in diesel as I do this. Yep, there we go. Okay, so that's removed anyway. Okay, so I think it would have been easier to take the connector off and do that elsewhere, take that out. I've now got to clean up this diesel, which is great, so never mind, but I'll be reinserting and installing this one in the new fuel filter now, before we then plug this back on. So I'll do that now. Okay, so there's the new filter, there's the port connected into it. You can see it's exactly the same on the top, obviously that way around, but yeah, that's connected onto it. So I just give this area a little clean up before we put this back in, and then yeah, we'll get it back together. Okay, so that's a whole lot cleaner. So we can get this back on. Hopefully now you know not to do that when it comes to your turn to do it. I recommend obviously undoing the electrical connection first and then removing it. So first things first, we're going to get that plug back on. Hopefully it can click into position. Yep, there we go, perfect. Just check that. Nope, not quite. There we go, beautiful. So now we should be able to get this nicely into place there. Get our retaining clip, put that back in there. Get our 10mm nut. Get that going. Get that all the way in and tightened up, and then we can connect the hoses. Okay, so with that back together and back in position, I think we'll start with the outlet. Just uncover that, and then we should just be able to pop that back on, clip straight into place. I'll remove the cover. We'll collect that in a minute, and then we'll get the in. Lovely, nice positive click in there as well. I'll just put this back in the retaining clip here. That clicked in nicely as well. Brilliant. A MAF sensor needs to go back on, so we'll get that back on now, wherever that plug's gone, and then we can yeah, look to purge the air out of the system. Okay, so with everything back on, I'm just going to get in the car. So we'll turn the ignition on, and we should be able to hear the fuel pump go. There it goes. Okay, that sounds positive. So now we'll just purge the air out of the filter. Okay, so we've just got a 12mm spanner on this bleed valve. We're just going to loosen it off. Hopefully we should get the air come out. Never done this before, so learning on the job. Okay, there we go. We can just see the fuel coming out there. So a few turns, tighten that back up. Another up, nice and tight. There we go. Great, so that should now be purged. So we should now be able to start the engine again. So back in the car, keys back in the ignition. Just turn it on the ignition. Hit that fuel pump once again. Turn it over. Brilliant. There we go. So that's what I was expecting, just a moment for the fuel to come through properly, exactly as it did. We're in neutral, so we can get out and just take a quick look. Everything's all good here. No impact to the MAF, that's all good as well. Yeah, great stuff. Some of the more observant of you might have noticed that my coolant is just above the max there, but you'll have noticed on some previous videos that I said about my cars being parked on a slight gradient, so it's a little bit lower at the front today. So that just shows that when it's parked around the other way, and it sometimes shows a bit low, it's just because of the gradient of the driveway, obviously. But yeah, for now, there we go, one fuel filter done. If you've liked it, please give us a like. If you've liked it even more, give us a subscribe up here somewhere, hopefully. For now, that's it. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks very much.